done, Andrew and Amy. All right, time now for a look at that Republican field, or as we like to call them, the party crashers. And the ultimate party crasher, of course, is none other than Donald Trump.
I see Rick Perry the other day, and he's so, he's doing very poorly in the polls. He put glasses on so people will think he's smart. And it just doesn't work. And then I watched this idiot Lindsey Graham on television today. He actually probably seems to me not as bright, honestly, as Rick Perry. I think Rick Perry probably is smarter than Lindsey Graham, but what do I know? Bush said, my tone's not nice. My tone. I said, tone, we need tone. We need enthusiasm. We need tone.
We need tone. The Donald, he is setting the tone without a doubt for the GOP race, and he's all anybody's frankly talking about, us included. The louder he gets, the higher he climbs in the polls, and with the first debate, like I said, just 1 week away, all the other candidates trying to figure out how to deal with the guy. Do you ignore him? Do you call him out? And they're preparing one way or the other for whatever their strategy is going to be. But Trump for himself says, and I actually believe this, he doesn't have a debate coach, and he's just going to be himself. And if you saw his entree into this thing, you kind of believe it's going to be on the back of an envelope. I think that's exactly, though, what everybody is afraid of. Now, you counsel candidates, okay? I know different strategies for different folks in the stage, but do they try? Because he's going to be center stage as I understand it, and the center is the lead person in the polls. They'll do an aggregate of 5 polls, and then fanning out in respective second, third, and to the sides. If you're Jeb Bush, do you just wait for this guy to flame out? Do you go after him? Perry, he's basically called you a mental midget, and Lindsey Graham, I think something worse. And believe me, we didn't have time for what he said about the rest of the field. What do you do? How do you approach this guy?
Well, look, and if I'm coaching any of these Republican candidates, I'm basically going to do my best to stay out of the guy's crosshairs. And why is that? Because why is Donald Trump in the course of this race still maintained all of his polling and actually gone up ever so slightly after making comments about John McCain in particular, after his comments about illegal immigration? It's because you have 16 people in a field running right now, and so there's only so many votes in the pot of a Republican primary. So Crazy Town is solidly locked into Donald Trump's camp right now. You're not going to really whittle away at the Crazy Town vote right now. What Jeb Bush has to do, what Scott Walker has to do, is they need to consolidate the un-Crazy Town part of the Republican primary right now, because until someone can actually do that, Rick Perry's problem is not Donald Trump. Jeb Bush's problem is not Donald Trump. Scott Walker's problem is not Donald Trump. It's everybody but Donald Trump. Until they can clean out the other side of that, those 15 folks, Donald Trump will continue to lead the polls. And if he stays in, he will win some primaries.
You know, Andrew, I still disagree with my friend Dominic that there's a method to Trump's madness. I really think he's making this up as he goes along. Nonetheless, though, a week from the debate, if you had to guess, and it's a scary place to crawl into, but crawl into the Donald's mind.
I get all the
Do you think he says, screw it, this has worked for me so far, I'm going to napalm that stage on Thursday and go after all of them? Or does he say, if I'm honest with myself, I never thought I'd be in this position, or for crying out loud, I'm number one, I'm going to try and act a little presidential?
Well, I disagree with the second part of your statement. I don't think in his mind he didn't. I think he always assumed that he would be in first place. He was going to be a tremendous campaign, gold-plated. It's going to be the best campaign anybody's ever seen.
He was going to get standing ovations for the campaign the whole way through.
I'm wondering if he's going to wear his hat to the debate. Look, I don't think he's going to act presidential because I'm not sure he knows how. And want to stick with what brought you there. So I think he's going to be as acerbic as he has been from the get-go. I think the guy who's most likely to get it from him is Jeb Bush, who's going to be standing next to him at the debate, and he is put out a lot. We didn't play any clips of him attacking Jeb Bush, but he is the one guy that Trump has been consistently attacking. That's bad news for Jeb Bush. And to answer your first question, if I'm in that top tier, if we put the poll back up, if I'm Walker, if I'm Bush, if I'm Rubio, I don't go after Trump. I leave that to the guys who are on the periphery, who are likely to be Christie, or likely to be Kasich, or likely to be, I can't even remember.
You know, Dom, as much as this is train wreck TV, you can't turn away, and I think the ratings are going to be through the roof for Fox. There's also the interesting dynamic. You've got Rupert Murdoch, who clearly wants to bring down Trump. But you got Fox, who knows this is the biggest ratings getter they're going to get for it. He's in the center of the stage. if you want good TV, you want this guy to last around. And they're making up the rules that are going along, Fox, by all accounts here, okay? How do you think the three moderators handle this? Do they make Trump the story, or do they treat it generic like every other debate? I know there's no opening statements in this. Do they make Trump part of the story or no?
Well, it's not really up to the moderators. The moderators are going to try and play it as fairly as possible.
This is Fox.
With all those candidates on the stage, you're going to spin around now. Donald Trump, the man we were just looking at on the screen, on his worst day, is better than the Republican field on their best day. So when he shows up at this debate, first of all, he doesn't do anything just off the top of his head. I know him very well. He does not do it off the top of his head. He may come off that way, but it's not being done that way.
You saw his introductory press conference.
And that was intentional, and it was a genius move.
Oh,
it was a genius move. Listen, you offended a few people, but
A few.
A few.
Look,
But it
in a
energized the
16
base.
field, and with 16 people in the field, 17, 20% in the polls wins you New Hampshire, wins you Iowa.
Although his
wins you
unfavorables are at 60%, which is the highest of anybody.
It doesn't matter when you. That's a general election. Like, bring it on. Like, please get through the primaries. Bring it on to the fall, because you're the guy. Obviously, I'd love to see on the other side. But you get through a couple primaries at 20%. 20% brings you to the dance in a field this big. So this guy there is a sort of what was the bulwark?
Bulworth.
Bulworth. There is this entire sort of Bulworth mentality here, like, yeah, I think what he's saying is stupid, but someone's got to say it to these jackasses, and that's sort of his role.
I got a question for the panel. If you're one of the candidates and Trump lays into you, do you return fire?
Does it matter? Does it depend who you are, though?
I think it probably does, but would you return? And if you're Chris Christie, who was supposed to be that guy on the stage, do you just lay into Trump and you just go at it?
Why not?
That's what Christie's going to do.
If you're a second tier, if you're a second tier guy, if you're a top tier guy, you sort of do like, I'm not going to deal with this, and you get down to brass tacks because you've got one of these other 16 folks has to consolidate the rest of the party, because then you win, 70-30 the whole way through.
Richard, you know what's crazy about Trump? The debate
There's
is
a lot there. Go ahead.
That's a great setup.
The debate is a week away from tonight. He's already won the debate. All he has to do is show up.
No.
And watch.
No.
All he has to do is just show a little bit of his. Who's gonna look better than him? Jeb Bush?
But he could eat it too. I mean, he could absolutely eat it. He
He's
absolutely
not
could.
that.
Next
Look
Thursday
at
could be the
what
end of
he's
his
doing
campaign.
today. You said he does things on the fly. No, he's lowering expectations. What was it? Which is what many candidates, Mike will tell you, will do before the election, before a debate. What was Trump doing today?
He was doing some golf outing in Scotland,
playing golf. He's lowering expectations.
Well, he has a tournament in one of his courses, but yeah.
Okay, but you would think he'd be preparing for a debate. And I guarantee you, I don't care what he says, I guarantee you he's preparing for this debate.
Look, he is going in there with his newsmakers. He knows what his newsmakers are going to be from this debate. He does know who he's going to go after. Mm-hmm. Do I think that he is going to, do I think he'll be disciplined? No. Do I think he has the broad contours of what he wants to do? Yeah, and he's going to do it the way that Donald does it. I also think you're spot on. I think Fox is going to have a great time with him up there. I think that Fox is going to allow this to turn into a circus purely because
that's what I would do.
It's entertainment, and that's what they're in the business of.
We should sell popcorn for next
year. I'm watching it. No matter what, I'm going to watch it. I know you guys too. All right, when we come back, we'll head closer to home and take a look at what New York Police Commissioner Bill Bratton just said about his future. Question is, will he stay or will he go? And then Andrew Cuomo and Bill de Blasio have ended their silence, but I don't believe they've ended their feud. We're going to fill you in on the spat that won't end and discuss whether either guy is winning and who needs who more.